Alright guys, so welcome to the first overview of the training week. My name is Mark. I've jumped on board with Marcus to offer a more personalised experience for our group members essentially. So Marcus is still going to be the brains behind the programming, so he's still going to program all the workouts for you guys. My role is going to be to translate them a little bit for you. So I'm going to meet with Marcus once a week and really try and understand why we're doing each workout, the purpose of each workout, and how to hit each workout. And then I'm going to create some content for you guys just so you can understand exactly that. So what's the purpose of the workout? How hard are you meant to be hitting it? What kind of form, what tempo you're meant to be using? We really want you to understand and feel confident going into every single workout, why you're doing it, and how you're meant to do it. So if you've already checked out the training for this week, you will know that we've got a pretty big deload week coming up. So for some people, a deload week is exciting and it's a respite from the hard few weeks of training. But I think a lot of us get stuck in this mindset that the harder we train, the more often we train hard, the better and faster we get. And I think deep down, all of us know that's not true, right? When we're training, we're breaking our body down. We're breaking our body down in a way, in a muscular sense. So we're damaging our muscles and we're creating fatigue in our energy systems. And we're doing this to signal to our body that it needs to improve, right? So our muscles need to come back stronger. Our energy systems need to become more efficient so we can run faster. And the recovery process starts as soon as we stop training, right? So we're recovering as soon as the training stops. However, if we keep training hard too often, we end up putting ourselves in this hole. So our body can only recover so much. So a deload week essentially allows our body to catch up and absorb that training, right? So when you get to a deload week, just consider that as important as your hard training sessions. You're allowing your body to recover, absorb that training, and it's in this time that your body is improving almost more than any other time. Okay, so Monday is an extra recovery day, and what you'll notice is that there's a mobility routine put into the programming for you. So mobility is an often overlooked part of high rocks. So, you know, if you compare certain athletes, so I'll give you an example of a great athlete to look at if you want to see someone who has just brilliant mobility, Megan Jacoby. And I think that you can see why her wall balls are so good in her movement quality, right? So nothing in the movement, the squat movement pattern is stopping Megan from going up and down, right? So she's got an upright torso. She's able to go into a squat with her legs straight forward, her feet straight forward, and that allows her to generate the most powerful squat and throw possible because she has no restrictions. And then if you look at more amateur athletes doing wall balls, you'll find that they kind of round their back. You'll find that their feet are really wide when they squat. You'll find that their depth isn't all that great when they're squatting. And this creates a lot of side-to-side movement. It creates a lot of hunched over movement. And you've kind of lost that up and down motion, right? So I really wouldn't underestimate mobility in high rocks. It might not be quite as important as in, say, CrossFit, but it can really help with your injury prevention if you've got good and mobile hips, for example. And just generally it can make movements more efficient. Okay, so on Tuesday we have a strength session, and although the strength session isn't overly heavy, it's important to stick to the weights and get this work done. So the idea of keeping some form of strength movement in, even though it's a bit lighter, is to ensure that your nervous system keeps firing, right? So although we're deloading, we don't want to be doing nothing, as I've just explained. So the 4 sets of 4 reps at 70% for most of us will feel pretty light, but it's a good opportunity to really dial in your form. So I would advise going on YouTube, typing in deadlift cues, and just taking like 2 to 5 minutes before you do your deadlifts to really look at some cues by some of the top coaches on how, just looking at how to deadlift with great form, you know. And most of us know how to deadlift, but just 1 or 2 cues can really change and improve your efficiency. So we'll then move on to an EMOM, and that EMOM will be just for 8 minutes, and that'll be alternating between deadlifts and kettlebell swings. And this is a great couple of movements just to get you used to that demand of moving through exercises under fatigue, right? So again, the weights aren't overly heavy, but you'll be doing a lot of reps here. So a lot of deadlifts and a lot of kettlebell swings will really work that posterior chain and that grip strength. And then once we've done those, we'll move on to some bench press and barbell rows. And of course, this is a staple superset where we're working the chest and the back. And again, we're moving through these reps pretty quickly in an EMOM fashion. And I think that's a great way to really get a lot of work done, build that capacity and build that strength without spending ages and ages in the gym. So yeah, enjoy this workout. We'll finish it with just a 20-minute easy bike cool down, and that's you done for the day. On Wednesday, we have our 60 to 90 minutes worth of zone 2 work. And this zone 2 work, love it or hate it, is important because it improves our endurance. And endurance essentially is our ability to do work over time. And whilst we're doing that work over time, our body's ability to be efficient in utilizing energy stores. So the more aerobic work you can stack into your training, the higher your ceiling becomes for the higher intensity work, and also the more efficient your body becomes at utilizing its various energy stores. Thursday, we've got a squat mobility routine for you to do. So we're going to suggest that you do this at least if you can, if you've got time in your schedule, to do a couple of times a week. And a bit, just as I was talking about earlier, the squat pattern in Hyrox is really important, mostly for the wall balls, but also just for your general hip and knee health. And if you can improve your ability to squat and get into that position, it will really allow you to express the power and strength that you build to your maximum capacity. Friday, we have some 400 meter intervals. So we're going to do 6 sets of 400 meters with a minute recovery. On the final set, rather than the minute recovery, you're going to have a 400 meter slow jog, okay? So keep that 400 meter jog as just really slow and relaxed, okay? And you'll then do another 6 sets of 400 meters with a minute in between. And on that final set, you're going to do the same, a 400 meter very slow recovery jog before going into a 8-minute session. Keep in mind that these paces that Marcus has given us are going to be, they're going to feel slower than we often have been doing intervals. But again, that's important. So the whole point of this week, or this session this week, is to keep your body firing, keep those legs turning over, ensure that you feel strong and confident in each run. And similar to what I said earlier, just have a look at some videos on running form, and just whilst you're running these sessions and whilst your brain is able to better think about movement because they're not 100%, have a think about your running form and whether your running form could be improved based on what you've watched. So today's a speed, power and strength day. So one of my favourite days just because it mixes everything in that I enjoy about training. So we've got our speed work, which works on our rate of force development at the start. And that is our banded box squats. So what's essential here is that every single rep should have 100% effort and intensity applied to it. So although the weight is very light, the band resistance will allow you to really push through. And pushing through at the bottom of the rep, where the tension is lower, will ensure that at the top of the rep, you still have that explosive power and strength needed to push through the band tension. And it's this that will encourage you to build that rate of force development over time. Similar thing really with the heavy rep stuff. Although the push press and the upcoming box squats are a bit lighter than you might be used to, the amount of effort you put in should be the same. And that goes for every time you lift weights. So you should always be putting 100% effort into the lifts, and this will encourage that strength, power and force development over time. So sorry to repeat myself, but exact same thing with the burpees. So 30 seconds on, 30 seconds off. And in that 30 seconds, you are going 100%. Like, this is the fastest you can possibly do 30 seconds worth of burpees. And that's what max distance means, right? So you've got 30 seconds to travel as far as you can. And even just 30 seconds, it should hurt. And you should really need that 30 seconds rest. The 3K row is a cool down, so take that really easy. But yeah, hopefully you enjoy this day as much as I think I will. if you've made it this far, it is Sunday and it's our 3K test. So absolutely vital here that you go into this feeling confident and refreshed. So hopefully your week's worth of training has been good, you haven't pushed yourself too hard, and you're feeling confident about going into this. The reason these 3K run tests are so important is because it's what Marcus builds the rest of the training from. So all your paces in the compromised sessions and in the threshold sessions and in the interval sessions that come up, they'll all be based off this 3K test. And so if you get this wrong, you might be underselling yourself in terms of how fast you should be running later on in the cycle. So yeah, really go into this feeling good, which will obviously rely on you having done the deload week properly, and just focus on getting through those 3K at 100% of your effort. Because if you nail this and get your best possible time that you can get, so essentially expressing your ability to the best you can, you will get the most out of your training for the next few weeks and months, because your pacing will always be correct as Marcus has written it. And that's the end of our first weekly overview. I really hope it was useful. I really hope that you now feel a bit more confident and prepared for the week ahead. Hopefully feeling a bit more like you understand the purpose for each workout and how to attack it. That's the goal. I'm even more excited about the cycle that Marcus has coming up. Like, I've spoken to him quite a bit about it for the last couple of days, and he's got some really good plans that I think are really going to elevate everyone's performance by quite a good amount. And yeah, I'm excited for it. I'm excited to be on board and look forward to seeing you guys smash your goals.